Okay, year 10. What I want you to do is to copy down the heading, simultaneous equations, the elimination method. Copy down everything on this screen here. Then you should pause the video and do that first. The first question we're going to look at is this one. We'll call this question number 1. Okay, solve the simultaneous equations x plus 3y equals 7, 4x minus 3y equals 13. So copy all of this down. Now, the key idea here is in the elimination method, equations are added or subtracted to eliminate one of the variable terms. Okay, so let's see how that works. The first step you're going to do is you're going to write down the first equation. X plus 3y is equal to 7. I'm going to call it equation 1. Next, I'm going to write down the second equation. Notice I'm lining up the x terms and the y terms underneath each other. Everything's got to line up nicely, including numbers. The 7 and the 13 is lined up, the y terms are lined up, the x terms are lined up. Now, I'm going to draw a line underneath this because this is going to be an addition or a subtraction. Now, what I'm going to do is I can see that there are two matching terms here. I've got a 3y here and a 3y here. So I'm going to eliminate the matching terms. I'm going to look at the signs here. This is a plus and this is a minus. So if the signs are opposite, you add the equation. So I'm going to add the second equation to the first equation. Let's have a look what that does. X plus 4x is 5x. 3y plus negative 3y is 0 because it becomes 3y take 3y. So we don't have to write anything there. And then 7 plus 13 is 20. You can see why it's called the elimination method is because the y terms have been eliminated. I've just got the x now. Okay, what's the next step? I've got to get x by itself. So next thing I'm going to do is divide by 5, both sides. Okay, that cancels. And you should be able to figure out from there that x is equal to 4. Okay, so x is equal to 4. Right, I should have labelled this as equation number 2, the second one. There we go. So we've got x equals 4. You need to know what the y value is as well. So now I'm going to sub x equals 4 into one of the equations. It doesn't matter which one. Sub x equals 4 into one of the equations. You're doing this to get the y value, okay? So sub x equals 4 into one of the equations. Now try and choose the equation which is easiest to work with. So I'm going to choose the first one because it's got all plus signs, okay? So subbing x equals 4 in, I get 4 plus 3y is equal to 7, okay? So I'm going to put down EG here. EG, I'm subbing x equals 4 into this equation. Okay, so that x there is now been replaced by that 4. Okay, I can solve that equation now. So minus 4 from both sides. It gives me 3y is equal to 3. And then to get the y by itself, I'm going to divide 3 both sides. That cancels. And then I can write down what y is equal to. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So y is equal to 1. Okay, so therefore, what's my answer? X equals 4, Y equals 1, right? So there's two numbers I'm after, the X value and the Y value. X equals 4, Y equals 1. Now, you don't actually need the back of the book to check your answers. You can check if they work for the equation. So if you substitute X equals 4 and Y equals 1 into this equation here, you should get 7. And if you substitute X equals 4 and Y equals 1 into this equation, you should get 13. Okay, so try that. So just go through those steps again. You write the first equation and the second equation underneath each other. Make sure the X terms line up and the Y terms line up. Then you eliminate one of the terms. You eliminate the matching terms. So you'll see the 3y there and the 3y there matching. Because I've got a plus and a minus sign there. They're opposite in sign, so you're going to add them together. Okay. Then you'll get one of the values for the x or the y. In this case, it's the x. Then you sub x equals 4 into one of the equations. Okay, it doesn't matter which one. I chose this one here because it's got all the plus signs. You could have subbed it into here as well. You still get the same answer. Okay, so subbing that x equals 4 into that equation, I get 4 plus 3y equals 7. Solve that, I get y equals 1. So my final answer is x equals 4, y equals 1. So copy all of that down. All right, pause the video and we'll do question 2 now. All right, so let's have a look at question 2. Here we go. Let's call this question 2. So copy this down. So same thing as before. I'm going to write down both equations. But I'm going to write them down so that one is underneath the other one. I'm going to do that so that they all line up. So the k terms line up, the m terms line up, the 9 and the 1 lines up, the equal sign lines up. Now, I'm going to draw a line underneath that. I'm going to label this equation 1. I'm going to label this equation 2. Now, what are the matching terms? Matching terms are the 2k's, aren't they? Now, this is actually a positive 2k, and this is also a positive 2k. So we say that the signs are matching. Now, I want to eliminate the k terms, so I'm actually going to do a subtraction this time. Okay, so 2k minus 2k is nothing. 3m minus 5m is 8m, right? The two minuses combine to make a positive. And 9 minus 1 is 8. Okay, from that point, I'm going to then divide by 8 both sides, right? Cancels. And then that should give me m equals 1. Okay, now that's my m value. I need to find the k value as well. Now choose one of the equations to sub that into. I'm going to choose the first one because it's got all positive signs. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to say sub m equals 1 into equation 1. Okay, equation 1. So therefore 2k plus 3 times 1 equals 9. Right, that gives me 2k plus 3 equals 9. Right? Then you're going to minus 3 from both sides. Right, that'll give you 2k is equal to 6. 2k is equal to 6. Right, and then last of all, we're going to divide both sides by 2. That cancels the 2's there, and you're left with k is equal to 3. Whoops. Okay, so you're left with k is equal to 3. All right, so your final answer, which you have to write down here, therefore, m equals 1, k equals 3. Okay, so those are the 2 questions. Make sure you copy down all the notes. You can watch the video a few times to make sure you understand it. Now, just remember, when you're deciding whether to add or subtract the equations, if the signs are the same, now if you look at, you eliminate the terms which are matching. These terms are matching. They both have the same sign, okay? So that means you're going to subtract them. So if I come back up here, sorry, this is where it was. So both of these terms are positive terms. They have the same sign. So that's why I subtract. So positive take away positive is 0. Okay. Now up here, the matching terms were the y terms. So these terms here were matching. How did I know whether to add or subtract the equations? That's got a positive and that's got a negative. So when the signs are opposite for the matching terms that I'm eliminating, I add. Okay. So for matching terms with opposite signs, I add. And coming down here, for matching terms with the same sign, I subtract. Okay, so make sure you copy all that down. That's our video for today.